kalau nak cakap tu kena belajarlah rajin-rajin. We as a student, what we want, the quality, the characteristic, the attitude of the student is based on my experience. Pentingnya kan bila awak dah masuk dalam program kita, okay, as a of course qualification tu dah ada. Alright, only that some people got 10A, some people got 3A and so on. Of course, based the pace of learning, the capability of learning to grab the class, to adapt with the class a bit different. But budak yang pandai, budak yang tak pandai pun, the most important characteristic attitude, dia kena rajin. Dia kena rajin, dia kena hardworking. Budak pandai tapi malas, lama-lama jadi tak pandai. Okay? Budak pandai, budak tak pandai, kalau rajin, lama-lama jadi pandai. Right? So itu yang saya cakap kat dia. Alright, okay? So it is, whatever it is, the attitude is actually the most important. Right? Okay, so that is the encourage the heart, and okay, that is the best practices. However, as a leader, there are different styles in approaching people, in approaching your subordinates, in managing the situation, okay, based on the who you are working with, what situation are you in, alright? What kind of conflicts that you are facing, all those will determine what style that you need to use. Okay, for this one, we have courses style. Ada banyak lah ni kalau baca ni. Authority style, affiliative, democratic, pace setting, and coaching style. Okay, so this one, effective, intelligence, emotional intelligence leaders, normally they should be able to use this style interchangeably. Meaning that, bukanlah bertukar ni, meaning that sometimes in one day, sometimes pagi tu dia boleh guna cohesive style with this kind of group. Petang, when they met the student, maybe they are using coaching style. And lagi petang, malam, student-student yang agak contoh student yang agak lemah, for example, okay, they are using for example, cohesive style. Okay, so a good leader be able to use all this style, okay, to change from one style to another based on the situation. Okay, how to change, what to change, okay, so you need to, how to apply this style. Okay, the next one will teach you what the style means. Okay, what are the definition of all this style. Okay, just to remind, macam saya cakap mula-mula tadi, this is among the popular question that will be asked, which we give you some situation, and you have to apply to really critically analyze this situation and choose what is the most appropriate style to be used. Okay, the first one is do as I say. Okay, when is suitable to be used? This do as I say, dia macam give command. Semua diam, ikut saya. For example, okay, this style is effective. Okay, this style is effective when we are in a crisis situation. Okay, crisis situation, for example, as simple as semua orang submit your semua orang go for midterm test. Okay, buat midterm test, bila pulang balik semua fail dalam kelas tu. Right? Semua fail. Very disappointed situation, okay, for the lecturers, for the student as well, and if we are in crisis. Bila semua fail, crisis lah. Meaning that macam mana ni? Apa nak buat? Contoh, final exam dah nak dekat and none of you show that you understand. None of you cannot grab the course, cannot understand mathematics, for example. So for that one, okay, consider crisis. You deal, for example, you deal with a problem and trying to achieve immediate compliance. Meaning that, okay, if that's happen, terus cikgu tu kata, okay, buat macam ni, saya nak wajibkan semua datang kelas tambahan setiap hari, every day without fail. And you guys need to be in a class straight 2 hours. We're going to have the exercise, okay, latih to be exercise for your mathematics, for example, right? So that is a cohesive. However, it can be ineffective in many situations. Okay, for example, kalau situation semua orang tu memang bagus, tapi tiba-tiba you force them also buat ikut saya, buat latih to be and so on, ikut soalan ni, latih to be macam kumon tu. Right, for example, okay, it might not be effective for a smart student. Student yang lemah boleh lah, tapi if it a mixed class, okay, it might not be effective, for example. Okay, another one, it will be authoritative style. Authoritative meaning that you use, for example, come with me. Okay, you don't walk behind me, you walk with me. We do this together, for example. Okay, here what it means, the leader outline a clearly defined goals. They have a vision. They know, okay, they share, this is what we need to achieve for our project. Okay, it need to be completed with 6 months, with a budget of 500,000, with this Gantt chart. We need to follow this. But at the same time, you empower people to achieve, to choose their own way of achieving their task. For example, you provide, this is the functionality that we have, but you give the programmer a space for him to use what approach to be used. Okay, what approach is more suitable in terms of the technology, the database use, for example, the way of doing their work. Okay, some programmer, they can work very effectively at night. Okay, pagi-pagi tu dia tak boleh bangun, tak boleh fikir. For example, some programmer malam tu dia akan very ni. So they give the flexibility for them as long as the project can be completed. Right. So, okay, this one style work best when the organization or project is adrift, meaning that everything work good, perfectly. Everybody is highly motivated and so on, right? They know what they need to do and so on. Okay, this might be a good way. Tapi kalau inexperienced leader that work with a more experienced team, alright, okay, it might not be suitable. Okay, not good for inexperienced. Macam dia pun baru, tapi dia kerja dengan orang-orang yang very experienced. Dia pun tak sempat, tak nampak goals tu sometimes, right? So it will be different approach to be used. Okay, what approach that might be suitable? Right, we will look into that later lah. Okay, affiliative style. Okay, affiliative style is maybe during this people come first. Okay, this might be suitable if you are at the stage, maybe you are work in a project that all the teams are still, they do not know each other. Macam baru ditubuhkan and you are the combination from a different department, maybe combination from a different a company, yes, stakeholders, you work together, for example. So at this stage, maybe the first thing you need to do is to build a strong emotional bond first. Okay, meaning that you do some ice breaking to make sure you want to create the positive environment first among themselves. Be able for them to build up their chemistry among themselves. Buatlah team building ke apa-apa yang patutlah. Right? So works well in situation where the leader must build team harmony, moral, trust or communication. Right? So any questions so far? Muammar Samuel, do you have any question? Muammar, how are you doing, Muammar? Are you there? Mana you on ni sebenarnya? Muammar Samuel bin Marzuki. Ada ke? Tak ada eh?
Ada.
Ada, okay. Muammar kat mana? Where are you now, Muammar?
Ada kat
Kat kedai.
Mak Sewa.
Kat rumah sewa. Okay. Tengah dengar saya punya lecture kan?
Dengar.
Okay. Okay, Muammar, can you read for us here the democratic style?
Attitude. What do you think? The leaders try to get others' ideas while building trust, respect, and commitment. People have a greater say in their decisions that affect their work. Morale tends to be higher. More realistic idea of what can or cannot be done. Works best when the leader needs buy-in, consensus, or to gain valuable input from others, but can lead to seemingly endless meetings or perception that the group is leaderless, not appropriate in a crisis or when the team does not have competence or experience to offer sound advice.
Alright, okay, thank you, Muammar. Okay, so
Alright.
democratic, okay, this works well when you are inexperienced, but you have a well-experienced team member, right? You have a highly skilled and well-experienced team member who can share their knowledge with you, okay? So this is democratic. When you have a meeting, you always ask, what do you think? Okay, you give your idea. So you ask their feedback based on the idea, right? So however, okay, work best when the leader needs buy-in, consensus, and valuable input when they want support, right? From the team, for example, dengar, tapi team tu memang capable in giving a good support, right? Tapi janganlah cik tanya idea je, gerak-gerak ni tak, okay? But simply endless, it can be endless meeting. So the project manager should be able, even though it's not, it might not be experienced leaders, but be able to control the situation. Kadang-kadang takut your team pula yang makan you, bully you and so on. Okay, we do not want that. So you be able to get their input and be able to manage to control the meeting as well. Okay, but it is not appropriate in a crisis. Of course lah, this is another different than what the cohesive style just now, right? Okay, so pace setting style, this is macam authoritative pula. Dia lagi keras sikit. Do as I do now. Okay, because the leader itself is a high achiever. Leader ni memang power, dia pun terror, they know what he's doing. Okay, they are very productive, they are very effective, they are very good in their area. So they set a high performance standard. So anybody in the team that is slow moving, okay, poor performers, lambat aja, kerja tak siap-siap, senang dia akan sack terus you, right? So, however, a leader like this maybe, okay, need a high achiever team as well. Siapa yang lambat aja, tak nampak apa dia cakap, tak faham-faham, 2-3 kali cakap tak faham, can easily get set out from the team. Okay, and the problem is maybe goals may be clear to the leader, but not to everyone else. Selalunya leader ni dia cakap cepat, cepat, and so on. Tapi dia tak tahu sebenarnya orang lain tak faham pun apa benda dia nak suruh kita buat. Dia normally when they are high achiever, they tend to the people under him can work independently, work faster, work independently, can see the vision, mission, what need to be accomplished, and so on. Okay, this one only may be appropriate in situation that require quick result from a highly motivated, self-directed and competent team. Tapi kalau dalam kelas, tak boleh gunalah pace setting style because you know that student may have a different background. Okay, some student are fast, some student a bit need time and space to learn, right? So, and last one, the coaching style. Okay, this one maybe is a try this. Which the leader, this one maybe cikgu pakai banyak lah. Cikgu, teachers, cikgu, teachers sama. Okay, lecturers for example, they understand the unique strength and weaknesses of their students. But currently, if we are online like this, memang tak faham-faham saya pun tak tahu. Okay, what does strength and so what are your strength and weaknesses? Okay, bila tanya pun tak jawab, bila tak panggil pun tak sahut, memanglah saya tak kenal. Okay, sometimes only bila we have a certain event, maybe once a while, tiba-tiba terjumpa and so on. Okay, luckily lah, macam semalam ada program, dia kenalkan diri. Macam Daniel dia kenalkan diri, alright. Haris saya tak tahulah sebab tak sempat pun sebab semalam sibuk sangat kan. Alright, so okay, normally the coaching style, you train the people, okay, you give them the opportunity to grow and let them make mistake and you teach them how to become better and better. Okay, works well in many situations, but most effective when people are willing to be coached. Sometimes ada student, when we talk many times to them, they are reluctant, they insist. Some students, like what I mentioned just now, maybe are not clever compared to others, but he willing to work hard, willing to ask questions, willing to study and so on. That is it will be most effective. If you are using coaching style macam ni, orang-orang macam ni lah teachers and lecturers are looking forward to work with, for example, right? Okay, that's about the coaching style. And now knowing the best practices and also the style of leadership, okay, together when we blend together, even though your attitude is good and so on, how you manage situation are another thing, right? To become a good leader, you have to calm enough, maknanya tenang, tak terburu-buru, you be able to see from a different perspective. If there is a conflict, you listen to both parties. If there is a conflict between the team member, for example, you are not only based on your emotional, okay, emotion, tapi dengar dua-dua pihak, for example, right? So this emotional intelligence, okay, depends, like what I mentioned, is the ability to understand and manage your relationship with people and with yourself in a better way. Okay, sometimes emotionally intelligence start with you. You yourself need to be able to control yourself. Kalau marah, what we call that, Buca banyak-banyak, calm yourself. Anak tak dengar cakap, tengok macam saya cakap tadi, besar kecil je tengok budak ni lah. Geram je, nak menjerit-jerit rasa. Tapi be able to control that. Right? Kita nak marah anak, nak marah students, nak marah whatever, whoever that, your clique, your name, kita marah untuk mengajar. Bukannya marah dengan emotion. Marah dengan niat, you want to make yourself as better, you want to train the others also to have to be better person. Right? Sometimes kan kalau pukul ini my friend cakap, kalau kita nak pukul anak, niatkan ya Allah aku pukul sebab nak bantu dia dunia akhirat, something like that, right? Okay, so this is what emotional intelligence is. Kalau IQ, intelligence quotients, okay, largely based on genetic. But EQ is something that you learn, something that you practice, something it been shaped. IQ kadang-kadang ni genetic, tapi EQ is based on experience, based on your culture, based on the situation that you've been brought up, all those things. Okay, so in dealing with emotional intelligence, okay, to be able to manage, to achieve the high score or emotional intelligence, you need to have these 4 capabilities. Like what I mentioned, EQ you can learn based on your day-to-day, how you improve yourself, how positive you are. Okay, when you have a crisis, macam mana awak bersangka baik pada Allah. This is ujian. For example, it make you a better. The more you get, you've been tested by many of those things because Allah loves you. Allah to want to give you more, for example, right? So in order to have that, okay, you have to practice these 4 things. Okay, self-awareness, self-management, social awareness, and social skill. Okay, what is the self-awareness? Okay, Dia Badria, are you there, Dia? Yalah, there, okay. Okay, Dia, can you read for us? What is this awareness?
Emotional self-awareness, reading and understanding your emotions as well as how your emotions impact your job performance and those around you. The second one, accurate self-assessment, realistically evaluating your strengths and weaknesses, self-confidence, having a strong and positive sense of self-worth.
Alright, okay, bagus. Tak gementar. Dia dah ready lah kat tu Alright, thank you. Okay, so self-awareness. Okay, this one you aware. You know yourself. You know what are your strengths. You know what are your weaknesses, and you try to manage, to elaborate more your strength and to be able to control your weaknesses. Here, you read and understand your emotion. Pagi-pagi tu awak control. I love my day. I love my work. I love your ITM. I love my course. I love my lecturer. I love the assignment that they give. I love the test. Tu semua tu lah. Itu macam motivation selalu cakap lah. Right? Okay, and then you should be able to do the self-assessment. Tahu apa your capability, your limitation. Kalau you ada limitation, macam gementar nak bercakap, true. Okay, I have that stage fright. Fright, inilah kan. Worry about to talk, public speaking. I myself have a problem with public speaking, for example. Right? So, when I have this problem with the how to talk to people, how to calm myself in front of the people, okay? So we have to practice. Okay, we try to look into how people talk. Okay, try to look into the video, the tips and tricks, and for example, be able to accurately assess yourself. and admit your limitation, admit your weaknesses, right? And also self-confident. The most important, you have to love yourself because before you love other people, right? Itu selalu orang cakap kan. Okay. And after knowing yourself, you should be able to manage. Okay, you should be able to manage, meaning that you're able to control any impulses and negative emotion. Okay, kalau negatif, tiba-tiba nak rasa nak marah, calm yourself. Okay, don't. If you are not in a mood, jangan jumpa orang. Duduk diam-diam, relax, tidur, and so on. Okay, okay, jangan bila bad mood lagi pergi bawa berempit. Itu it doesn't solve the problem. For example, okay, solat lah ya, the basic things to do, right? Trustworthiness, conscientiousness, right? Okay, hopefully ini. Okay, managing yourself and be responsible, adaptability, do the achievement orientation, okay, and also initiative. Okay, you manage, you set what you want to achieve, and you be able to adapt with the situation, right? Pandai bawa diri, itu adaptability, pandai bawa diri, and you be able to conscious, you know about yourself, okay, you manage yourself and responsibility. You know you should be, kalau you didn't do this properly, nobody can do this. Okay, your task in a group, you carry your task in a group, in a good way, fulfill apa yang expectation people and so on. Sorry, salah pegang. Okay, right. Okay. And social awareness. Okay, those two is about understanding yourself. Now, social awareness, when you understand yourself, you know your limitation, you should be able to control. Now, it is about how to bring that to other people when you do the interaction. Okay, personal interaction, your PR, okay, public relation with the people, okay, empathy. Empathy and sympathy is different. Sympathy, kesian yang kau. Empathy, kesian yang kau. What can I help? If you need support, you can come to me. If you don't have money, you can come to me. Contoh. Okay, for example, okay, if you need anything, okay, people to shoulder to cry on, right? You can share with me. Contoh. That is empathy. You try to put yourself in other people's shoes, for example. And your organizational awareness. Okay, you know what are your responsibility, how to build network with people, the organization life, the culture, adaptability with the culture, and be able to recognize and meeting customer needs, right? Okay, so last but not least, all right, social skill. After knowing all those, then only you can play, or you will be able to adapt with all those best practices that I explained to you just now. Okay, the best practices, the styles, okay, the good characteristic of leaders. For example, you become visionary. You can influence people. Okay, when you talk, it's based on facts and figure. You share your vision, and you should be able to make sure that other people believe in what you say. Okay, and you develop others. You communicate effectively, right? You send a clear message. You know the project communication plan, how to talk with your business partners, how to talk with your team, how to talk with the top management, and so on. You'll be able to change, to change catalyst, maknanya you the agent of changing. You'll be able to handle conflict, be able to build relationship, and of course, this is among the critical things to do in a project. You can work in team, and you encourage the collaboration with each other, right? Okay. Okay, any questions so far? Okay.
Tak ada question, Doktor.
Alright, okay, thank you. Okay, as usual, tak ada questions. I hope that everybody understand. Right, so basically, when talk about the emotional intelligence is about strengthen your, how you manage yourself and how you manage your interaction, okay, your network with the others, okay, your relationship and others with the other people. It's not only limited to you as a team, but you as a daughter, you as a son, you as a sister, you as a big brother, okay, you as a peer among yourself, and so on, right? Okay, then about the ethics. Okay, a good leader not only have all those team characteristic and so on. Sekarang ni, good leader pun memang orang suka. Semua tu kalau dah lama memanage, dah lama lead the government, for example, right? People believe when you said that, people terpana, okay, dengar and so on. But however, it's not only stop there, okay? A good leader, it require a principle of etika. Okay, like what I mentioned from the very beginning, here in as a Muslim is very clear. Haram, halal, very clear. Okay, salah, betul, very clear. Dia tak ada tengah-tengah. Tak ada grey area tu. Okay, so when you as a leader, your principle, your etika, the moral, how you bring up, how you make decision should be based on cara yang beretika, that align with Islam, align as a the standard, operating standard of the organization, for example, right? So, but normally ethics can be influenced by a culture as well. How good you've been brought up as a daughter, as a student, for example, as a Malaysian. Malaysia punya etika different with maybe people from Japan, maybe people from Europe. Okay, so it how you been developed from the society, right? Okay, this one. If we see legal and ethical, okay, if legal, things that is legal, things that ethical, selalunya clear. Contoh, datang kelas setiap hari based on as required by you. Of course, you already registered as UiTM student. It is legal to you to join the class. Comes every day. You know your responsibility as a student. Okay, you know your what is being expected from you. Okay, that is ethical. So it's a good way. Of course, you follow the SOP. Okay, usually clear. Illegal and unethical, also clear. Mencuri, merompak, content class, all those things is illegal, yang tak ada reason. Kan, content tak ada reason lah. Yang banyaknya kawan awak ada reason, insyaAllah. Okay, illegal and unethical, always clear. But the problem will be some situation, it is legal. Alamak, ni pula It is legal, alright, but it is unethical. What kind of situation is that? Boleh tak relate kan? Dia benda yang illegal, tapi dia unethical to do. Okay. Hasha Iliana. Ada tak Hasha Iliana?
Ada.
Okay. Hasha, can you think of situation which is it is legal Tapi sebenarnya nak buat nak buat tu tak bagus. Benda yang tak bagus untuk dibuat. Contoh apa dia? Hasyah boleh fikir tak?
Tak tahu lah, madam.
Bila awak buat tu tak kena tangkap. Tapi bila buat tu macam tak bagus lah. Contoh senang sekali. Merokok, for example. It's illegal. Kan? Tak ada masalah. Tapi kalau lah merokok dekat taman awam, dekat UiTM, dekat dalam office, okay, dia yang ada prohibited, maybe is dia tak legal lah, of course. Tapi it can be done. For example, yes. Nama. Okay. Alright. So it can be legal. Okay, merokok but unethical. Benda yang tak bagus dibuat. Berjudi di Genting Highland, for example. Okay, di Genting Highland is allowable, right? But it's unethical. In other language, in other religion also, even though it's allowable, sebenarnya it's unethical. The Chinese also don't like people to gamble, right? For example, right? Alright, then illegal but ethical. Ethical, dia illegal and ethical. Dia sebenarnya kalau tengok kesian. For example, awak selamatkan perempuan yang kena husband and yang pembuli, for example. Okay. Macam tu ke? Alright. Contoh parents yang berebut anak, for example. Alright. Because that is under custodian of the father, for example. Tapi anak tu nak mak dia. Right? So, awak as a friend, awak pergi ambil budak ni dekat sekolah. It is illegal, of course, when you can be easily charged. Right? But it's ethical. Okay? Kesian for the humanity and so on. Okay, it can be done, but is against the law, for example. Right? Okay, so that's the example. Okay, ethical leadership is more on socialization. Okay, a process where people brought into learns by the culture. Ethical is again based on the people, and people always forgot. We need to be reminded from time to time. Okay, to become ethical. These are all example unethical leadership. People who are normally weak moral individuals. They are also weak in managers, weak moral managers. Okay, normally dia memang clearly orang-orang yang ditangkap sebab become abusive, for example. Okay, and then pecah amanah, all those things. Okay, unethical. Alright, hypocritical leadership. This one is the most dangerous. Meaning that, okay, when the auditor come to the company ABC come, leader ni nampak bagus je sebab dia more on nampak baik, nampak alim, nampak the school itself nampak is very promising and so on. Tapi dia ada pecah amanah, for example, mislead some of the dana. Okay, so when they talk, okay, you do not know. Sometimes when kena bila ada audit and so on, for example, okay, they said that they be found something wrong with the system, and then it says they deny and so on, and then this one you do not know. Sometimes whether it's betul ke tak betul dan sebagainya, right? Okay, there is might happen. Okay, hypocritical leadership. This is not only that, in your everyday life as well. Okay, bila yang bermuka-muka, depan lain, belakang lain, and so on, that is the worst type of people. You as a people, you as a person also is a worst type of person, for example. Ethically natural, alright. Okay, ethically natural, dia nampak macam you pun, a leader who is not strong, a weak ethical leadership, but does not provide clear ethical guidance. Okay, so ini dia macam kejap okay, kejap tak okay. There are some rumors happens actually. Okay, Okay, so dia kadang-kadang natural leadership and ethical leadership. That's easy. Okay, it's clear. Memang dia buat, memang dia nampak, memang dia do it proper way. The principle of the school, for example, or that kind of thing. Okay, so alright. Common ethical dilemma. Okay, when you in an organization. Okay, and when you, especially when you're group manager, you are the project manager, you are dealing with a consultant. You are the one who make decision whether to approve a budget or not. Normally, they involve many human resource dilemma, right? And sometimes it involve also discrimination, privacy, sexual harassment, cyberbullying, alright, a discipline, appraisal. When you give appraisal, for example, there is a firing, lay off. Bila pilih orang untuk lay off, those are some human resource situation. Okay, the most common can be conflict of interest. Meaning that, like what I mentioned just now, people who are in a team, you are the one who make decision, right? And to approve a project. Okay, and the most common, meaning that hari raya baru berlalu last time, right? Okay, your vendor giving you the gift. Hamper besar, hamper dia tinggi, gemuk hampernya, for example, right? So he give it to you. And he said that, no, this is nothing to do with the proposal and so on. Okay, this is just to do to celebrate the Hari Raya for you and your family, for example, right? So some of the organization, they already put a stand operating procedures for this kind of conflict interest. Some organization, kalau dia setkan, kalau ada sesiapa terima hamper, it cannot be based on the personal. Okay, kalau ada hamper ke apa, kena buka, bagi sikit-sikit, makan bersama-sama. So, no conflict of interest. The whole department boleh rasa. Okay, for example, kalau ada makanan and so on lah, right? That's one way. That is one way lah. Okay, and confidence, for example, strong of confidence, too confidence. For example, PNC, confidentiality about your data you share with your vendor, for example, product safety without proper testing. Okay, you launch the product, okay, without reliability research. You claim too much in the advertising. Okay, contoh produk yang ini, minyak, for example, boleh settlekan, boleh solve 10 penyakit. You are overclaim, something like that. Okay, it can be ethical or common ethical as well. And also you use, okay, corporate resources, pakai email, staff, pakai internet, pakai paper, pakai stationery. So all those, you misuse some of the small, maybe it's a small thing, but it's still the unethical to be done, right? Okay, how to make sure that to make ethical decision based on all those ethical dilemma and so on. Okay, when something wrong with that it require you as a project manager to make decision, because you heard, for example, you heard lots of things happen with your staff and the misleading behavior of your staff, for example. Okay, of course, the first one, you have to gather the facts. Call them for discussion. Don't just listen to one side only. And make sure when you call, and make sure what ethical issue actually been they violated, for example. All right. And then also, when if truly happen, what are how it affect the others as well, right? So how it affect the other stakeholders, and you want to identify the consequences. Okay, if there's this one person can be laid off, what are the consequences? and we want to identify the obligation, okay, what needs to be done. Okay, if this is, we know the effect, okay, what other you as a project manager need to do. Okay, get feedback from get advice and so on from your HR departments. And also last but not least, okay, you reflect yourself. Okay, you reflect, you consider what are how a good leader, you understand this is need to be done. This is what should be aligned with the SOP policy and procedures of the that's set by the organization. Consider reflect how it will influence your character and integrity. Okay, make sure whatever decision you make is not based on your emotion. Okay, use your leadership style just now and also your emotional intelligence to make a good decision. Okay, among the last parts, okay, what are the difference between work groups and real team? Okay, work group, maybe in the same department, you have a certain best friend. There are 3 of you who share the same interest. Okay, ujung-ujung minggu suka makan sama-sama, right? Sometimes if you have a problem, you share with them. Problem with your life, problem with the work, and so on. Okay, so normally it's no mutual accountability, just to share. Tak ada certain KPI and so on. But the real team, example, you as a team for your group project, you have certain tasks. You have certain KPI, key performance indicators, that will be assessed whether your team is an effective team or not. Okay, normally involves small number of people. You have a specific, everybody have a specific skill. Everybody work in a common goals and need to fulfill their responsibility committed. Use the same approach. Everybody have to follow the process, for example, and be responsible with whatever task that been given to you, right? So normally real teams, okay, they have a demand performance challenge. Maknanya kena perform, right? But sometimes the term basic are often overlooked. We try to miss what are the basis of building a team. Contohnya kita push. Kita kena buat kerja tiap-tiap hari, kita lupa. Okay, in order to build up a good team, you need to build up the relationship first. Chemistry tu kena ada with each other, right? And some organization, they look into individual. They have a preference, okay? Preference manager, preference programmer. Betul, terlupa orang-orang lain. Example, okay. Okay, so real team uncommon, okay. Of course, strong performance goals. Kalau tak ni, sometimes spawn more real teams. Okay, bila everybody are going towards KPI, it affect the performance of the team itself. But high performance is very difficult to keep up with the performance. You can be excellent. This year, awak lah juara Eropah. Next year, susah nak maintainkan, for example, right? And then real team provide the basis of performance. Okay, they have a basic. Okay, real team, they know what are their own responsibility. Okay, they perform based on their team punya responsibility lah. And of course, they will help each other. Integrate performance, learning, okay, they support each other and so on. Okay, last part, multicultural. This involve especially international project. Okay, involve people from different culture, different country, different time zone, okay, a different kind of communication communication style, all those kind of thing. All right. So the challenge of international project, okay, when you involve people internationally, right, it will, of course, the challenge is you dealing with a different location. Okay, you work in Malaysia and you are dealing with people from US. Of course, 8 jam punya differences, the time zone. Currency different, regulation also, especially regarding the law. For example, okay, if you are working with people from Africa, okay, some Sudan, for example, the Petronas, okay, work closely with Sudan. Sekarang ni dia dah take all their people from Sudan because of the political instability. And also attitude toward work and time. In Malaysia, kalau Japan, for example, on time, okay, on time is not, macam mana dia lupa dah term dia. On time is late. Kalau Japan. But in Malaysia, half an hour late is still acceptable, for example. Right. Okay, kalau Japan, on time tu dah consider late dah. Awak kena ada 10 minit sebelum kelas start, for example. Okay, so there is a difference. Okay, of course, the religion, the language, the type of food they are, when you get together, okay, you should be sensitive with all this, right? So in managing this diversity, okay, please, you as a project manager and also team, alright? Bukan team saja, awak sebagai jiran, apalah sebagainya, who are dealing with people from a different background, different language, different race, and so on. So you need to consider this diversity wheel. Alright, so look from the organizational dimension, okay, from the organization itself. Some people might have a management status, the manager, the managing director, the CEO, CIO, people from the lower level, operational people. Okay, how they talk, how they express their feeling will be different. Okay, so you have to use the different style of leadership in dealing with that, right? The external dimension, for example, something that external, the of the team itself, yang tak ada control, yang you cannot control lah. Marital status, dah kahwin, tak kahwin, parental status, their appearance, their work experience. Some people have a diversity. Some people have a international education background, belajar degree, master, semua overseas. Okay, and people with a different religion, recreation habits, okay, their social way, social work, right, and personal habit also, income, just to name a few. This is the external dimension, which sometimes when they deal with you, this will affect the way they work and so on. And last but not least, based on the personality, their age. Orang tua yang dah berumur, bila dia kerja, bit different. Okay, race, maybe kerja dengan orang Melayu, of course lain daripada kerja dengan Cina. Right, Melayu ni baik tau. Melayu ni baik. Kalau you kerja dekat company Cina, dia buat dek je dengan you. Tapi you as a, bila Cina kerja dengan you, baik betul Melayu ni dengan Cina tu. Right, so I have that experience actually. Right, ethnicity, your ethnic, your physical ability, people who have a strong or very fit. Right, jalan pun laju je compared to the people with a bit slow, badan besar sikit macam saya kan, all those things. Okay, alright, and gender, age, sexual orientation, and so on. All these organizational dimension, external dimension, and internal dimension are all the diversity of the possibility of diversity of the people who are working with you. So you as a team member and you as a project manager need to be aware of this. When you make decision, when you use like what the best practices, make some ethical decision to use the style of leadership, this will be one of the area that you need to consider. Alright, nak cakap seorang-seorang ni, okay, tak nampak pun you all berada di ni online, okay. Do you have any questions? Okay, how many of you actually? Only 38 of you. Banyak tak datang kelas. Macam mana ni you all ni? Alright, okay, there are many of you miss the class. Okay, please please do go to the UFuture. Please register your attendance there. Buat sekarang masing-masing semua all those 38 of you. Please ni I set tadi dah sampai pukul 6 lah. Dia sampai 6.30 kot So sampai pukul 6. Do it now. Okay, like what I mentioned, it based on that. Okay, your attendance will be based on your UFuture just now. Okay, pergi kat UFuture sekarang buat, jangan lupa. Ingatkan each other, all those 38 of you. Okay, so any question?
No, Doctor.
Okay, Aiman dia jawab pada tadi. Alright, thank you very much, Aiman. Alright, the rest, Daniel, do you have any question, Daniel?
No question, Doctor.
Okay, dia senyum je dia cakap ke Alright, okay, thank you. And as usual, no question. See you guys this Friday then. Right? Take a good care of yourself. Have a nice dinner. Nak malam nak bagi makan dah tu masing-masing Okay, bye. See you guys. And thank you.
Okay, thank you, Doctor.
Thank you,
Alright.
Doctor.
Thank you, Doctor.
Thank you, Doctor.
Thank you, Doctor.
Yes.
Thank you.
Alright. Alright, thank you.